So you have the journey of the soul. The journey of the soul is when it's like S-O-L, the journey of the sun, the journey of the soul, but also the journey of the S-O-U-L, the journey of the soul, of your solar journey, right? So you start with the incarnation of self, and that starts off in the first house, Aries, the I am energy. Now, if you look at Aries, the symbol of Aries, it's similar to the female reproductive system, because that is where you enter into the matrix, the female reproductive system. So that's why the head, the ram's head, right, of Aries, that it's similar to the female reproductive system. So it's that I am energy, the essence of the soul. Okay, that's why Aries is I am. It's not so much about them, it's about me. That's Aries, right? Aries deals with the head. Okay, when a baby is born, they're born head first. Aries. Okay, so Aries is about why you do things, your attitude, your personality. It's the house of the ascendant. It really does make up the workings of somebody. Like when you meet somebody, you are not meeting their sun sign unless you just happen to meet them in a painting class, right? But in that painting class, you're still going to read their rising sign. The rising sign is your first interaction with somebody when you meet them. Okay, so that is that I am energy. You bring your personality everywhere that you go. It's why you do things. Okay, so you start off with the inception of the self, first house, and then you go to the second house. The second house is, okay, you have your body. Now what comes next? That's your values. Okay, that's your morals. That is the first time that your parents probably give you like a toy when you're a baby. So it's your material possessions. Okay, and when you're a baby, everybody's pampering you. Okay, it's how you like to be, your comfort style. It's what do you like to do when it's time for you to be pampered? Okay, what values are motivating you in life? Okay, how do you like to go about getting your funds in life, your money? Okay, how do you make your money? The second house is about food, right? Think, the journey of the soul. So when you're a baby, your parents have to breastfeed you, feed you with, you know, baby food. So it's your food as well, your comfort. Okay, that is the second house, your comfort. Okay, and then after you go from the second house, and remember that's Taurus. After the head comes the neck. Okay, so that's Taurus. Okay, and then you go into the third house, and then you look around. Oh wait, my parents didn't just have me, I have siblings as well. Third house. Okay, so you have Aries, Taurus, and now you have Gemini in the third house. So usually when you have siblings, then you start to form some type of communication. That is the third house. The third house is the house of communication. Okay, your communication style is more so of like short form communications. Those communications that you have every single day that tend to teach you more about yourself and the world around you. That is Gemini. And when you are younger, your parents have to go to work. They usually put you on some type of program where you can learn, all right? School. Gemini represents school, not higher education, more so like lower education. So like elementary school, middle school, high school, that type of thing. Okay, so the third house is how you like to communicate. The third house deals with your siblings. The third house deals with your short trips that you like to take in life. Okay, now I'm just talking about the houses in relation to your soul. So I'm not going to tell you like the third house represents media, right? Because those are other attributes of the second house. Okay, now the third house also can represent your, well, I would just say the third house can represent cars. As I already said, media can represent cars, you know, but with you, it's it depends on the sign that rules that house is going to tell you more about your communication style. Okay, so if Pisces there, you like to be, you confuse a lot of people. Like when you talk, it's more like elusive. It's more, you don't really give people the full story. Not that, you know, you kind of, you talk in patterns, or you talk in like mysterious, you know, not like Scorpio, but with the Pisces, it's not really clear what you're saying all the time, right? It's more of your words have an illusion. Your words have like an illusionary type of feel to them, okay? So that's the third house. So you go over to the fourth house. The fourth house deals with your family, okay? Your foundation, your mom, your security, okay? The fourth house is the closest to the IC. So the fourth house also deals with our emotional state, right? It's the moon. So it's how you like to go about your security, how you like to go about your comfort, how you like your home, you know, how your connection with your family, your connection with your mother, right? Going down deep. Is the fourth house also deals with destiny, right? Whereas the 10th house can deal with karma, okay? And so that is you relating to your fourth, your family, your foundation, where you come from, the makeup of you, you know, you finding out about your family tree, your lineage of your avatar. That's your fourth house. And then you go over to your fifth house. Your fifth house is how you like to go about playing. Right now you're getting a little bit older, and it's the second time that you get a chance to identify yourself with your body. You're getting used to your body, so now you already know how to walk. You're looking around, right? And you're starting to say like, oh, okay, these are knuckles, these are hands, you know, these are feet. Oh, what is this? You're finding out about your avatar. It's Leo. Leo is your identity. Leo is ruled by the sun. The second house, Aries, Mars. The first house, Aries, Mars. The second house, Taurus, Venus. The third house, Gemini, Mercury. The fourth house, the moon, Cancer. The fifth house, Leo, the sun. So here is the sun, okay? The sun is your identity with your physical 3D avatar, whereas Aries is the identity with your soul, I am energy, incarnate. Okay, so the fifth house can deal with your children. The fifth house can also deal with your father, because the sun talks about the father. It deals with your creativity, how you like to go about playing, right? Your dating style, how you like to go about flirting, right? It can also deal with casual sex, okay? And then you go over to the sixth house. The sixth house deals with, okay, now that I found out about my body and my family and my sisters and everything, now the sixth house is, how do I take care of this body, okay? Your health, okay? The sixth house deals with the health of your 3D avatar. It deals with your service to other people, okay? Your daily routines, how you like to go about going about your day, your to-do list, right? The sixth house can also deal with your work. What do you like to do for work? Not your career. This is more like the mundane work. What do you do just to bring in the paper, okay? Your service to other people. That's why it's your work, because your work, usually you are being of service to other people. Even if you're an entrepreneur, you have to sell something, which means you are serving other people. That's the sixth house, okay? Now the sixth house is Virgo, Mercury. So the Mercury rules over the third house and the sixth house, okay? Now, one thing to remember about the sixth house is that in traditional astrology, the sixth house is seen as the house of bad omens. So usually Mercury can deal with health problems, okay? Now we go over to the seventh house. The seventh house, let me stop right here. The seventh house. Now, you have went through the first through the six houses, right? The first three houses, the first house, second house, and the third house, that's known as your first quadrant. The first quadrant is all about yourself, right? The bottom of the chart is what people don't see, because it's all about ourselves, right? The bottom of the chart is known as the night side of the chart, okay? And this fourth, the fifth, and the sixth house, those make up the second quadrant. The second quadrant is still all about yourself, but as you go to the end, you start to learn about other people. Okay, now at the beginning of the third quadrant is your seventh house. The seventh house deals with other people. Now you're going from the things that the people can't see to the things that people can see. The bottom of the house is the unseen, the top of the house is the seen, and the thing that separates the two is the axis. It's called the horizon. And so that's why the ascendant and the descendant, on this side you have the rising side. This is where the planets rise. On the other side of the line, the axis, you have the descendant. This is where the planets fall. Okay, so this starts the house of what people can see. And so this is your connection to other people, your interpersonal skills. Okay, the seventh house deals with your interpersonal skills. The seventh house can also deal with open enemies, right? Remember, the journey of the soul. So now you are in school and you probably, ran into somebody you don't like, a bully or whatever. That's the seventh house. The seventh house is going to deal with those, the people that you can also butt head with, like the open enemies, the enemies that you like openly know about. Okay, the seventh house can deal with your marriage, contracts that, that bind you to something, so contractually binding. That's the seventh house, okay? The seventh house is ruled by Libra and Venus, okay? Now, here is all about love. It's all about how you mentally go about preparing for the world, because the seventh house is a cardinal house. So this house, it opposes the first house, where the first house is that I am energy. What can I do for me? The seventh house is that, okay, they energy. What can I do for them? It's all about living vicariously through other people as well. Okay, that's the seventh house. It's all about your mental, because it's Libra. Libra is an air sign, so it's how you mentally go about preparing for the world, whereas the first house is Aries, fire, that fire that you have within you. Okay, now after that you go to the eighth house. The eighth house is a water house. Okay, the first house, let me just go over a review. First house is cardinal house, second house is fixed house, third house is mutable house, and then it just repeats over, right? Cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable. The cardinal is, they're the starters. They get things started, initiated. The fixed sign are the maintainers. Once they get the energy from the cardinal, they maintain that energy. And then the mutable, they finish that energy where you started when you were in the cardinal sign. So when you go through 3 houses, especially the sun, whatever you start in the cardinal house, you maintain that energy for the next set of 30 days when the sun goes into the fixed house, and then you finish that energy when the sun goes into the mutable house, and then you can start all over again. So if you are aware, then you can work with when the sun's in the cardinal sign, fixed sign, and the mutable sign, as far as like getting things done in your personal life. And you can do this with any planet as well. The sun is just, it's a little faster. So, or you can do this with the moon, because the moon, changes every 2.5 days. So depending on what energy you want to start something in, maintain it in, and finish it in, okay? So back to the journey of the soul. So then you go to the eighth house. The eighth house is all about your connection to the other people, but other people's belongings. So usually what other people lend to you. This can also deal with theft, right? It deals with sex. The eighth house covers your private areas, your growing, your sexual reproductive organs. So the eighth house is the house of sex, but it's also the house of physical death and spiritual death. So Scorpio is known as the most intense sign. The eighth house is ruled by Scorpio and Mars. Traditionally, modern times is ruled by Pluto. Pluto is a intense energy. Any energy that Pluto becomes in contact with, Pluto just likes to suck up into that energy. It's a very, I won't say obsessive energy, but it's just a very, intense energy. Scorpio can be very protective, can be very secretive. If a Scorpio feels a lot about you, then they just want to like, you know, protect you. That's Scorpio energy. So the 8th house can deal with like how you like to go about, you know, dealing with stuff like on the inside. Even though it's the house of the seeing, it's the house of like inner, you know, introspection as well. The 8th house is a very like intense house. It can deal with divorce, it can deal with your taxes, you know, it's a lot going on here in the 8th house. And then once you go from the 8th house, you go to the 9th house. Now the 9th house opposes the 3rd house. The 3rd house, remember, is about lower education. The 9th house is about higher education. The 9th house is Sagittarius. It's a fire sign, right? It's ruled by Jupiter. So it's about the things that you like to dive deep into, that you like to form, you know, lines of, for your trajectory of things that you're going to study in life. So it's, you know, college, it's graduate school, it can be you become a Buddhist, right? Religion, it's things that carry you to the knowledge that you are going to acquire, right? Like the things that you said, okay, I'm going to study, I'm going to find out as much as I can find out about this thing, and I'm going to master this, right? Or I'm going to get my bachelor's degree, I'm going to master this, get my doctorate in this. That's the 9th house, right? Opposes the 3rd house, and the 3rd house is about short form communication. The 9th house is about long form communication. Okay, the 3rd house is about those short trips. The 9th house is about those long trips, foreign travel, foreign investments, foreign, you know, foreign dealings. That's the 9th house. That's Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius is like, let's take the long way home. Okay. Then you go over to the 10th house. Whatever skills that you acquired and you studied in the 9th house is directly connected to the 10th house. And in between, you have something called a midheaven. It's the midpoint to heaven, the closest point to heaven. The midheaven can represent your teachers, the people that appear in your life to teach you more about the things that you're learning in the 9th house that you're carrying over into the 10th house that is eventually is going to become your legacy. The 10th house opposes the 4th house. It's ruled by Capricorn, Saturn, and it opposes Cancer, Capricorn. So, I mean Cancer, the moon. So in the moon, the 4th house is about your family, your foundation, finding about where you came from. The 10th house is about the family that you are leaving, right? Based off of all of the qualities that you learned from your family, right? From the house that it opposes. So the 10th house, you're starting your family. This can deal with your father. This can deal with your legacy, right? The legacy that you are leaving behind. This is how the world perceives you, right? The 9th house is about how you see yourself. The 10th house is about how the world sees you, your perception of the world. Usually, people will tend to see you as your 10th house sign, right? So let's say you're Leo 10th house, right? This means you're a Scorpio rising. People would tend to see you as that Leo midheaven. Sometimes, because Scorpio is so intense that they'll just see you as your Scorpio all the damn time. You know, but if you're a Scorpio 10th house, then chances are they'll see you as that Scorpio sign. Okay. Then you go over to the 11th house. The 11th house deals with your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your friend groups, your benefactors, like people who donate to you, big business, right? The 11th house opposes the 5th house. The 5th house deals with your ego. It's all about myself, right? Learning about my identity, how I like to go about playing. The 11th house is how do you play with other people? How do you play with your friends? What the things do you like to share with your friends, right? It's the identity that you gain through the recognition of your friends, through your friend groups. Like, who are you relating to? What identity are you creating in the realm of community? That's the 11th house. Okay, the house of partnerships, like not like 7th house partnerships, but like those multiple partnerships, like the tribe, right? Your chosen family. Okay, and now you go over to the 12th house. The 11th house is ruled by Aquarius and Saturn. Modern day times is ruled by not Saturn but Uranus. Okay, then you go over to the 12th house. The 12th house deals with Pisces, this is the endings of cycles, okay? Pisces deals with your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind, the hidden, the unseen, debilitating like mental conditions, or just, it can be like neurodivergent here, it can be like autism here, it can be, you know, bipolar, schizophrenic. The 12th house deals with large animals, whereas the 6th house deals with smaller animals like dogs and things, right? So the 12th house, larger animals. The 12th house can deal with your dreams, right? This is the realm of the astral. The astral realm is the 12th house, okay? The 12th house can deal with psych institutions, like mental institutions, hospitals, monasteries, churches. That is the 12th house, ruled by Pisces and Jupiter. Minor day times is ruled by Neptune. It's all about illusionary things, right? It's all about dreams, like alternate dimensions, you know, like psychedelics that take you to other realms. That's the 12th house, right? It's how you like to go about wandering in the world. It's how you like to release, how you like to go about releasing, not overthinking things, but, you know, leaving things to the universe, leaving things to intuition. That's the 12th house, right? How you like to go about literally moving around the world. The Pisces deals with the feet, okay? So that is the journey of the soul through the 12 houses. Now, I will make sure that I do a series with planets through the houses, the signs through the houses, okay? I'll make sure I do the North Node through the houses, Juno. I'll just make sure I cover a lot. We have a long way to go with all these videos, but I just really wanted to post this video so that my followers who've been following me for years, they know that the direction that I'm going with this channel is definitely more of a strong astrological base, okay? Don't worry, you'll still get your conspiracies and things of that sort, like the deeper knowledge things, but we're going to have a strong emphasis on astrology, astropalmistry, you know, that type of thing here moving forward with this channel. Okay, so if you all like this video, please make sure you smash that like button, you subscribe to this channel, and let me know about, you know, your natal chart at the bottom. What signs do you have in your first house? What, you know, do you have, are you like a Scorpio rising? Are you a Pisces rising? Do you have dominant planets in your first house? You know, the thing I'll say before I leave here is that the planets that are in your first house will make up like your personality, how you go about doing things. You know, that these are the standout planets that contribute to your personality. When you were born, right, there was a snapshot that printed out your body at the moment, the millisecond that you were born. You know, it's like, you know, the Cancer deals with your breast, right? Gemini deals with your hands. So let's say you have Jupiter in, you know, your third house, you're going to have big hands. If you got Jupiter in your fourth house, it's going to be easy for you to go to the gym and get a big chest. All right, I got Jupiter in my third house. I go to the gym, whoop, 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 do a couple of sit-ups, or a couple of push-ups. It's like, damn, you just did like 5 push-ups. How did your chest get so big? I got Jupiter in my you know, in my fourth house. But the planets that are in your first house, so like Scarlett Johansson, she has Mercury in her first house. So the first thing that you notice about her is her voice, right? People who have Mercury in their first house, they have very distinctive voices. I have Pluto and I have Saturn, along with Vesta, Priapus, and some other stuff in my first house in Scorpio, right? So I'm a Scorpio rising, and I have Saturn conjunct my Scorpio. So my personality is literally Saturnian, okay? So you really have to pay attention to the planets that are in your first house, all right? Hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.